Master Debaters, I am Twiggy Dro.
And I am Sid Jones.
How you doing, sir? You are looking sharp as hell today.
I know, I look like the opposite of you. It's funny as shit. I'm like in all white, looking like a saint over here, and you're over there looking like the devil's fucking disciple. It's crazy as shit. You look like one of the fucking minions. It's crazy.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm about to see some magic trick. Check this shit out.
just moving around the screen and shite. So, Twiggy Dro, as you know, we've got a new president-elect.
Yes.
Have you been hearing what Biden's planning?
I've heard a couple hearsay here and there.
All right, so I'll clue you in real quick.
Okay.
All right, so first off, let me go ahead and share this out real quick here. Bam. That's not it. What does this do? What does this button do? There we go. I can do it. Yay! I did it all by myself. Cool.
I done it! Yay!
I did it. Oh, we can't do that in the new Biden regime. Under the new Biden administration, we won't be allowed to say shit like that.
Fuck Biden.
I know. So, am I allowed to say stuff like that?
Well, am I allowed to say I want to fuck Biden?
Why would you want to? Why would you?
I don't know.
Under the Biden regime. I'll put regime. Bam. And I'll post that some bitch. And then I'll share this around from here. Share over to here.
Trying to find a good place to put me. I don't know. I think I'll stay right here. That damn label wasn't there on the bottom left. It wouldn't be such a problem.
Let's see. Oh, I got kicked out of that group. That sucks. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Let's see. Respect the facts group.
Respect the facts.
Yeah, respect the truth. Respect. Here we go. Conspiracy theories, fact or fiction. This should be a good one. Share to another group here. What's another group? Got to keep Asylum out of it because we're not. It's not music friendly. I got chewed out for that. I don't know if you heard about that, but I got in trouble.
In what group?
The Asylum. I'm not allowed to share political stuff over there.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I got in trouble. I got scolded. Let's see. Get lifted. I'll share into that group, and then share
that.
Let's see. What's another group I should share into? I got to join more political groups, I think.
Yeah, the
Daily News, which is spelt completely incorrectly. Corrupt, dull. Emily says, I'm going to my metal concert. Bye. Thanks for fucking tuning in, I guess. Candy, sweetheart, how you doing? It was excellent to meet you and your husband.
And there it is again. Your microphone's doing that damn that bullshit.
That's fucking weird, dude. Hold on a minute. I might have a solution to that. Let's see what happens if I do this. How's that?
Maybe if we have a longer conversation, I'll give you a little more detail.
A little more detail?
Yeah, it sounds like you're underwater, but we can still somehow manage to understand you.
All right, let's see here.
Does that make any sense?
Let's try this again. I'll fix it. All right, now?
I don't know. Talk to me.
I'm talking to you.
A little bit.
A little bit better? What the fuck? I haven't touched anything.
Well, I can understand you, but it's got that little little sound going around it. I don't know. Technical difficulties in the middle of a stream. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I will be your entertainment for the time being. Sid Jones is currently experiencing technical difficulties. This is Master Debaters, and I have absolutely no idea what to debate myself with. I said debate, not beat. Oh, my metal concert by...
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it sounds kind of like really bad auto-tune.
Okay. And now.
Yes.
Better.
Speak for a few seconds.
I'm speaking for a few seconds.
But you're going to have to speak longer than that.
Well,
You're a president here. Come on.
I'm trying to make this shit work. I don't know what happened. Everything seems to be fine on my end.
I don't know. We had all this shit fucking set up before we came on.
I know. I'm trying to find out something. It says everything's good on my end.
I don't know, I'd actually have to look at your computer to fucking figure it out.
I'm looking at my computer right now.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about computers. That's the problem.
Okay, so let me try this. Let's try.
You sound fine now, but since it's doing this back and forth thing, I'm wondering how long it's going to be before it ends up fucking up again.
Oh, you know what? It's turned. My microphone is for use in like a bunch of apps. What happens if I turn those off one by one? All right, let's try that.
Oh,
Better?
sounds fine. Yeah, it sounds fine now.
All right, so maybe it's trying to maybe my computer's trying to update while I'm talking. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Anyways, where was I? Right, the Biden regime.
Yes.
So we're under this new era of presidency. Now, think about it. For the first time in I can't say my lifetime because Bush Sr. was president when I was born.
Yeah.
He was a one-term president. So for the second time in my lifetime, we now have a one-term president, that being Donald Trump.
Yes.
So people are scared for their firearms. People are scared for their guns. All right. How are you feeling about your gun rights there, Twiggy?
Yeah, come get him, asshole.
Right. So I'm going to point this out to people.
Okay.
Gun shop owners, people who own gun shops, right? People who sell firearms should love it when a Democrat is president. Gun sales skyrocket every time we have a Democratic president.
Yeah, I actually did notice that.
I remember when Obama was president, dude. I wanted this 9mm SIG, and it was gone. I wanted to go in and buy it. It was fucking gone. Like that, the pawn shop was just like, I'm like, dude, where was that Glock that I wanted? Dude, fucking somebody came in and bought it like before you came in. Like everyone was buying up guns and shit. It was crazy.
Right.
Trump gets into office. I haven't heard anything about people buying guns up until the pandemic, when people thought that people would be looting people's homes and things like that. So I'm not too worried about firearms. What I'm worried about, though, is the regulations that are being put under it. Such as he's trying to make it so that way you can't buy gun parts through the mail. Which means if I'm out there unloading, ladies.
Well, technically you can't buy guns in the mail anyway.
No, gun parts, which you can. I've bought in magazines. I've bought in firing pins, coils, all that shit for my firearms. I've done
Okay,
it.
well, when you say buy in the mail, what exactly do you mean? Because by the terms that I understand, you can't have them shipped to your house.
You
They
can
have to be shipped to
you can have gun parts mailed to you. Chambers, slides. The only thing you cannot get in the mail is a receiver. You can assemble your gun down to every bit of it minus the receiver. That's what's ATF like restricted.
Okay.
Is the receiver. You can get every other part you want for a pistol, rifle, whatever. You can get it. You can buy a
So you
barrel.
have to get the receiver from a gun dealer.
Right. A licensed gun dealer. Now they're talking about how at gun shows you don't need a background check. That's a lie. You do.
Yeah.
I can buy a firearm right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to New Hampshire, knock at my brother's door and say, brother, I'd like to buy that Glock off of you. And the law in New Hampshire is you have to reasonably know somebody to private sell and private purchase.
Right.
It's not like that in Michigan. Unless you have a little special concealed carry permit card.
Right.
Michigan is fucked.
Let's go back here for a second. The hell did they call it? I can't remember the name of the act, but if I remember correctly, the law was passed under Roosevelt. And from what I understand, it was passed to actually get control over the mafia because they basically ran the fucking country. 1920s Chicago police were the most corrupt police in American history because of Al Capone. I guess you could say this man is single-handedly responsible for the gun laws that we have now.
Okay. I could say that, right? I could say the same thing about prohibition, that it's prohibition's fault that marijuana never got, legalized. I'm going to explain something to the American people right now. It doesn't matter what was passed 100 years ago, 60 years ago, 40 years ago. What matters is what passes now. I can go back and write amendment after amendment after amendment. I can do an executive order. I could make Congress and the Senate go ahead and ratify other amendments. I can make them eradicate other amendments. I can overrule those. We can do all that shit right now. Yeah. So for people to say, hey, it's this president's fault. It's the president's fault for not fixing that shit. So every president afterwards is responsible for that. So let me make myself perfectly fucking clear. In 2024, if you vote for me, you never have to worry about your firearms being negotiated ever the fuck again. I will make it unconstitutional for it to even go to the Senate floor. I will make it so that way it's the Second Amendment plus some. I will make it so that way shall not be infringed means it doesn't even get to be debated again. Period.
Something I've noticed though.
What's that?
These God, I don't even know what to call them now. This list of privileges, we'll call them. They get shorter and shorter and shorter every year. Would you not agree?
What gets shorter?
Our rights, our list of rights.
Right. So as a matter of fact, that's actually been looked into and has been proven. For the past 20 years, your rights have been reduced. On an average of every 3.5 years, you're losing a right after a right after a right after a right because they're slowly becoming privileges.
An example of this would be mowing lawns. If you are mowing lawns for $5 and you mow, 10 lawns, that's $50. You are starting a private business. Therefore, you have to have a license regardless of the fact you are trying to save money for, a car, whatever.
Yeah, they can tax you for that shit.
Yes. Back when I was a kid, you were allowed to do that without a license, regardless of how old you were.
Yeah, and now they make it so that way kids can't even have lemonade stands. Like,
Exactly.
how big and bad are you when you're like walking up to a kid being like, I need to tax your lemonade, and they're like, you need to
What are
what?
taxes?
I need to tax your lemonade. I need to tax
This
them when
only
you're making.
tells me that these privileges are not actual privileges. Because if something can be written, then that means it can be erased.
Right, and you've also got permits, which when you break it down is permission.
Exactly.
Per fucking mission. We're not the free country that we like to think that we are. We're not even the greatest country in the world anymore.
You hear it all the time from Army soldiers. Freedom isn't free. It's not.
No, it's not, but I shouldn't have to be fucking being taxed for everything. Thank God the one thing that we have is your gifts cannot be taxed. At least we have that. At least we have fucking that. Right?
Yeah, at least masturbation.
Right. I mean,
You're free to
for
go
right
fuck
now.
yourself.
For right now. For right now. But now we're under war with like OnlyFans and PayPal and Cash App and Venmo and all these other things. They're starting to look into those as well. And under the Biden regime, you're going to find that more of your rights are going to be taken away. The Democrats have always been for more government. More government. That's what the Democrats do. But this election was not about right and wrong. This election was about, I don't like what this guy says, so I'm going to vote against him. This election was a protest vote. But understand this. The Republicans still hold the majority in the Senate. Understand this, and I'm talking to the Republicans right now. Do not give that guy an inch. Don't do it. Now, with that said, there are things that Biden is doing that I agree with. He wants to rejoin with the World Health Organization. We should have never backed out in the first place.
What was the point in doing that to begin with? I'm still confused.
Because it was corrupt. Now, this is what the Trump supporters have always come out with. This is corrupt, and that is corrupt, and this is corrupt, and that is. What about the FCC? That's not corrupt. Well, that's our own government. So
I can understand. I'm not saying I agree with it. Just getting it out of the way. I can understand why he pulled us out of the World Health Organization, because these fucking idiots are telling us to be afraid of the flu.
It's actually the CDC, not the World Health Organization.
Okay, I stand corrected.
The CDC is what put out that thing about the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Let's see if I can fucking find that.
So the World Health Organization is actually working to eradicate smallpox. Now, what Trump wanted to do was build our own version of the World Health Organization, which means camouflage and guns. And for any of those that are keeping track at home, understand this. The World Health Organization comes in with WHO jackets, and who doesn't like the WHO? They don't come in with fucking AR-15s around their fucking chest and start marching down the street like we do when we, are visiting countries or just sightseeing or getting intel. We send in people with guns.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that fucked that up for us on trying to do all that, we didn't catch Osama bin Laden fair and square. You know what we did? We set up a fake vaccine tent. I say that again. A fake vaccine tent, and took people's DNA to catch the guy. We didn't catch him fair and square. We fucking lied. And you know what that did? That made it so the country would never trust us again.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
granted,
you also have to think there's so many different conspiracies. I could go into fucking all of them, but we just don't have time for that right now.
it's not a conspiracy. It's a fact. That is a cold hard fact. That is not even a conspiracy.
Okay, now I have to say, asshole. There's a conspiracy that Osama bin Laden was not Osama bin Laden. So this guy that we killed wasn't the guy that we were supposed to kill.
Right. Well, unfortunately for that theory, there was a guy from SEAL Team 6 that was there and confirmed that it was him. Because Trump retweeted something that said, we probably didn't even really catch Osama. And this soldier, this Navy SEAL, put out a tweet that said, I was there. I'm one of the ones on SEAL Team 6, and I can rest assured, each and every one of you, we got that son of a bitch. So Trump, we're starting to see this guy lose his mind. We're seeing him at his worst, and we're starting to see that Trump may not have been mentally fit to be president. I've got emails from this guy. My Gmail's been blowing up. We need to do this, and we need to do. I'm like, dude, you lost. Calm yourself.
No shit.
You're looking really unpresidential right about now. You still have about 2.5 months to get shit done.
But think about this, though. When you take office, you get paid for it. First and foremost, why the fuck are you getting paid to be president?
I never agreed with that. I never agreed that a president.
I don't agree with it either. But here's the second kicker. When you leave office, you still get paid for being in office.
Yeah, so here's the misconception with that. When you are a former president, you don't get all of your freedoms of being a civilian and shit like that. Like, you still have to follow certain rules and shit like that. Like, you're still watched like a hawk.
Yeah.
I don't mean like protected. I mean, you're fucking like your phones are being looked at, your computer's being looked at.
They are making absolutely sure you're not doing anything to fuck up this country.
They're making sure I'm not calling
Sri
He
Lanka.
always looked unpresidential. Says Big Brain Bay. How you doing, Big Brain Bay? So let's say Big Brain Bay, right? Let's say I message him and he's like, "Hey, brother, what's down in Area 51?" And I'm like, "Hey, here's what I found. Here's all the pictures and shit." That is when I get a bullet to the head. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's a documentary out there that talks about who killed John F. Kennedy. And this person has got evidence to show that it was Secret Service that put a bullet in his head. It was the car riding behind Kennedy.
Yeah, I heard that theory.
Yeah. So this guy was obsessed with it.
It was supposed to be Homeboy. Homeboy bullet was the second one that hit him, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were two shooters. One of them was Secret Service riding behind Kennedy. And what's funny is Secret Service, they were trying to like do another autopsy or whatever. And they're like, nope, we're taking Kennedy now. What? The feds came in and fought it. It was bad. It was all bad. And they went against protocol. But that was because somebody shot the president that worked for the White House.
Mm-hmm. And it's shit like that makes me question what is going on with our fucking government. I mean, just the fucking 1,001 different fucking theories, from Satanist, pedophilia, racism, fucking slavery. You know, it's fucking Agenda 21. And you guys still want to sit there and tell me that the government is someone to be trusted when shit like that's going on public fucking television?
Yeah, so you're talking about like back in the day when we had fucking Operation Paperclip. We had the fucking MK Ultra. We had all that. Now, I'm going to explain this to each and every one of you. When I'm president, when I run for president, one of the things that I'm going to tell them straight to their fucking faces, whoever's on that fucking stage, I will look them dead in the eye and say, you have been lying to the American people. There is proof out there that you've been lying to the American people. You've been taking away their rights. Both parties are responsible for that. Not just Biden, not just Trump, not just the Republicans, and not just the Democrats. Yeah. So I'm going to make it fucking blatantly clear. There will be complete transparency between the government and its people. Period.
That's how it should be.
Now, if there's something that is of national security where it's like, listen, if I tell you guys this and I do a fucking press conference about this, we could end up all in nuclear fallout. So let's wait. And when I'm able to talk about it, I fucking will. There's a show called Designated Survivor. That guy who plays president is the ideal president.
It's always amazing. We always find somebody to play an ideal president on Hollywood television, but yet we can't seem to find the right one to do it in the government.
Exactly. Now, there's a reason why we can't. There's a reason why we can't. And it's the way the American people are. After Biden was president-elect, I'm driving down the road and I see these Trump supporters waving their flags. And I'm like, listen, you were the reason. You were the exact reason why a lot of Americans voted for Biden because they don't like your face, what you're doing, waving your flag, disrupting traffic, and doing cunt shit like that. I have never once seen a Biden supporter doing some shit like that. See, I get people who vote for Trump because of his policies, but when it becomes a fandom, I'm talking like Harry Potter shit.
No shit.
Where the fans dress up in their fucking witch hats and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm a wizard.
Religion. It's like a religion. They have to go out in public and make sure that you personally know for a fact that they are indeed a Trump supporter, how long they've been a Trump supporter, why they like Trump, how long they've liked Trump, how for whatever fucking reason they like. Jesus, shut the fuck up. I don't care.
And that is why people are like, fuck this. I'm voting for the other guy so I never have to see that stupid shit again. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened in America. That is what you saw. You saw people voting against not Trump, but Trump supporters.
Yes.
That's what you saw.
I can't help but see a bit of an oxymoron here, because back in 2016, when who was he running against? Kerry?
Trump was running against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, he was running against Clinton. Hillary lost, and every single Republican said, "Shut up and deal with it."
And now we want to return. Dude, my favorite was when they were in fucking Nevada or some shit, and they're like, stop the count. And then over in Pennsylvania, they were like, count the votes. And we're like, what?
It's a literal definition of red versus blue.
Yeah, and it was so funny because like when they were like, count the votes, they're like, we are counting the votes. And then they don't like where it's going. So like, never mind, stop counting. Stop counting. We change our mind. We're losing. That to me is the ultimate sore loser. That to me is like that to me is your average American, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And that's sad. That's because of Common Core. That's because of, I was working since I was 15 and I dropped out of high school. Again, very important to have your education. Where you're seeing
knowing is half the power.
Right. And the other thing that we're lacking right now is education in our schools this moment, where we still have Common Core, where kids don't get to learn the truth about things. They don't get to have open conversations with their teachers. They don't get to have debates.
There are schools out there right now that are teaching that the United States did not kick the natives off the land, but rather the natives gave the land to the Europeans.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. Like we're whitewashing history. Is what we're doing. We're scrubbing it.
Not even whitewashing. We're guilting. We're guilting the future generations into basically what we're seeing now. We're guilting them into being a victim society.
Right. Or we're teaching them that it's okay to hate the white man.
Yeah.
We're teaching them that it's okay we encourage you to feel guilty for the things that you have not done. Look, it sucks what happened to those people, right?
It really does.
I was not there. Okay?
Neither were you.
I don't even know what my ancestors did. Unless someone's going to pay for my fucking Ancestry.com thing, which if you want to do, you can.
Right here.
You can look up and see what my ancestors did. If they did anything foul, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about that? Is my question. Like, do you expect me to make an apology on behalf of my great-great-great-grandfather? What would your great-great-great-grandfather say right now? He'd probably be like, what the fuck happened to America? Think about it. Ben Franklin would wake up. If Ben Franklin, if we brought him back to life right now in 2020, he'd be like, holy shit, you guys got rid of slavery? Damn. Look at you guys go. Proud of you guys for making changes.
Oh, well, that's something I ain't never seen before.
And then we'd be like, hey, did you know that Barack Obama was president? He was black. Franklin would be like, holy shit. Wow. That is he
Dude, what we're
wouldn't be able
supposed
to
to do
comprehend it.
is get a Ouija board, salt, and a few other items, douse our room, and then do some kind of black magic voodoo ritual, and then ask our ancestors what it is we are supposed to be atoning for, and then somehow,
Wouldn't it-
some way, get them to manifest themselves on and like get it on film so that they can apologize from the beyond for the shit that they did, so that they can absolve us for something we had nothing to do with.
Well, here's what I'm afraid of, though. You're talking about having conversation with people that were back in like the 16, 17, and 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be in today's mentality, in today's mindset of everybody should get along and in equal rights.
Right.
They're going to have that 16, 17, 1800s mentality where it's like, wait, they pay people to mow the lawn? Shit, back in my day, we just made them do it for free. Why are you not just like they wouldn't understand? They wouldn't be able to see the 100 plus years, the 200 years that we've been doing what we're doing.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to understand what today's generation is up to. Like if I showed them my iPhone, they're gonna die
They
again.
probably shit themselves.
Yeah, if I say here's my, they'd be like, "What is this thing?" Think about it.
It'd be like watching a monkey with a Rubik's cube.
Right. So imagine when they're like, "Our founding fathers would be disappointed right now." No, they fucking wouldn't. They'd be fucking confused. They'd be lost. You explained to, hey, Ben, remember when you sent your son out to fly the kite and not you? Well, in school, we're taught that you flew the kite while you were sitting in an insulated building, I might add. That's a true fact, by the way. It's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. Ben Franklin didn't, in fact, fly that kite. He made his son do it.
Yeah, because he didn't want to get electrocuted.
Raise it higher, Jim. Raise it. That's it. Just a little. Good work. Good work. Awesome. It fucking.
Did you feel the shock?
Yeah. I'm shocked just seeing you, but that's our world. This is our generation now. Now that's like, I thought when I was a kid when they said, "Hey, draw a picture of the future," flying cars and buildings that you could park in, computers. Well, and what's funny is our technology got smaller, but we wanted things bigger. We thought bigger was better. We thought that having a giant phone that you could dial into and have certain specs to it and shit like that, you'd be able to like dial in a certain frequency and whatnot. As it turns out, it's just a click of a button. Like it's fucking weird. It's not what we had anticipated for the future. We wanted something more. We wanted something great. We wanted the Jetsons. We wanted the Jetsons. That's what we thought our future was.
This was back in the early 20s.
Right. Now, look at where we're at now.
We haven't come very far.
No, we are so far behind. The only thing we've been able to come up with are wireless versions of these, improved versions of these, in cars that also run on the same kind of device that these are run off of.
It's getting to a point where we can basically run our entire car off of our phone.
Right. And I'm waiting for that to where it's like, and then somebody's going to hack your fucking shit and now you don't have a car anymore.
No shit.
Right? So when you explain to somebody from the 1960s and 70s how a car works these days, they're not going to fucking know.
What the fuck? What the hell is 5G?
Dude, I am a 30-year-old man who can't seem to operate. I just discovered AirDrop about 2 months ago.
Wait, well, hold on. Wait. What the fuck is AirDrop?
Apparently that's like when there's a cell phone nearby or like an iPhone. I shouldn't say cell phone. I should say iPhone. An iPhone nearby, instead of me like texting it to somebody, if there's somebody in the vicinity that's got an iPhone, I can AirDrop a message to whoever's there.
And that's like when you have no service?
No, that's when you don't have anybody's number or whatever. You can just AirDrop shit. Like you can walk by a kid with a fucking phone. Kids do this all the time now. What they do is they open up their phones and they see like who's nearby and they'll AirDrop random shit. So you'll get like
irritate the hell out of me.
Yeah, so it's like you open it up, you're like, oh, somebody sent me a picture. And it's like a picture of like a cat and shit, and you're like, what the fuck?
You
Yeah,
get a
it's
fucking random
weird,
dick pic from somebody you don't know.
right? I mean, that's how, like, you can airdrop it from your phone to your computer too. Apparently,
Okay, now that would be useful.
if you've got like an iMac or whatever, so you're like, ah, fuck, I don't want to
Of course, you can only
download
do
my.
it with iPhone.
Right.
Android people, you got to get Android.
Yeah, I mean, my friend convinced me to get an iPhone, and I wish I didn't, but
Well, yeah, well, you got Android for $50.
yeah, I know. But what's sad about those Androids that are $50 is eventually they stop updating, and you have to go and replace it. With an iPhone, you always have an iPhone. I could have this iPhone for as long as there's iPhones, and as long as I've got space, I can always update it to the newest iOS.
I hate you.
That's the only reason why I got an iPhone, because I got sick of updating my phone. It got to the point where I'd update my old Android phone. I'd update it, and eventually it's like, we can't update it. Like, you're so obsolete, we can't give you the new stuff. So your phone's just going to stop working.
Yeah, that's very irritating. You fucking need internet to make a goddamn call now.
Yep. And what sucks is I've got the worst kind of service you could get, like the worst like phone company you could ever get, and I still get service anywhere I go. Yeah, I mean, there's some places like down in South Carolina, but none of us really had service down in Bedford. We're like, what the? Trying to get service and shit. But if I'm in the grocery store, I've never had an issue sending a text message down in the fucking frozen aisle. Never had an issue.
I have a problem when I go to Walmart. For some reason, it doesn't matter where I go, but when I'm in Walmart, I can't get a text message. I can't make a call.
I can fucking do it. And I've got the worst kind of service you can have, and I've got an iPhone. I've got the 7, dude. Amazon advertising update. Please disregard our earlier email. What? Huh. Weird. It's something about Amazon doing my advertising for my upcoming book, Malum Paradisum. December 14th, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, December 14th, Malum Paradisum comes out. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. The 6th Sid Jones novel, maybe, possibly Sid Jones is in it. It doesn't say Sid Jones on the cover, but it is the first conclusion. And there is the Reaper series, so if you guys aren't keeping up, please do so. Joyce B11 writes, in the Boondocks, you get nothing. LOL said it was great chatting with you at the Raven Festival. It was excellent chatting with you too. I love seeing all you guys there. I miss South Carolina. Like, I actually got homesick. When I got home, I was homesick for South Carolina. I missed it. Like, I feel like I really made some really good friends there.
Well, I can't really say you get nothing in the Boondocks because I am literally living 1 mile from an Amish village, and I get great service.
Huh. Now I'm gonna ask you this, Twiggy. You were backing Trump, correct?
Wouldn't go that far with it, but I guess.
You understood that having Trump in office for at least a second term would be better than the alternative.
Yes.
So when I found out that Biden was elected, and the first thing I went and did was like, what's he doing? Turns out he's fixing some shit that really messed us up. Like the World Health Organization thing, I think that's something we should stick to. However, the CDC and the FCC and the EPA and all that,
yeah, they all need to go.
We should be at least fucking cutting back our funding to those 3 things.
No, I wouldn't. And I'm kind of lean with the EPA because, without them, we would have a lot more pollution than what we do now.
But did you see who the head of the EPA was?
No, I didn't.
He was the CEO of a coal mining company.
Oh, yeah, fuck him. He needs to go.
Right. We need to really fix what we should do is just put the FDA and the EPA in one building.
They're pretty much the same thing anyway.
Right. So FDA, bam, you're the first floor. EPA, you're on the second floor. And what we can do is start emptying out buildings in DC so we can start housing our veterans that are homeless on the fucking streets, which nobody talked about during the debates. Nobody.
I would actually like to bring something up. Somebody that I know did a social experiment. They didn't tell anybody who they voted for. And they went around. They told 3 people. They told me and 2 other people that they voted for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Me and one other person didn't really give a shit. You know, you vote for whoever the fuck you vote for. I don't care. Your life, whatever. The third person ran off at the fucking mouth to the wrong person, and the person they told ended up bitching them out. And I have been seeing that a lot, not just on fucking Facebook, on everywhere on social media. If you vote for Biden, you're a piece of shit. If you vote for Biden, I'm not friends with you. If you vote for Biden, you know, maybe you step on a fucking Lego or some shit like that. These people are literally choosing something they cannot control over their own personal friends and family.
Yep. Yeah, you're seeing a fight, and it's because they think that you voting that way is going to fuck up their life somehow.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I find to be interesting that nobody talks about. What's going to happen when these people that voted for Biden find out real quick that it's not any fucking better than what we dealt with the last 4 fucking years?
It hasn't gotten any better at all.
Did you hear what happened to Fox News? Have you heard what happened?
No.
Fox News announced that Arizona was projected to have Biden, like the Arizona locked in with Biden.
They were.
They did not lock in with them evidently at the time or whatever, and people went outside and said, boycott Fox, boycott Fox. And even Trump tweeted at Fox and said, you sons of bitches. They felt like they got hubby and son are veterans. Thank you. And the veterans should be a priority. The veterans should be a priority. Homeless veterans should be a priority. Veterans should be the first ones in line to be able to get a job. And I don't mean like first ones in line to wait for a job. I mean, they should get a thing saying, you've been hired. This is the job that you're going to do.
What I think they should do is whatever it is. I'm sorry about that. I think what they should do when it comes to like veteran jobs is like whatever it is that they excelled at while they were in the service, that is their job when they're a civilian.
I disagree with that, because if they've done enough, like let's say there's one guy, he comes back, he's like, I'm done with the shooting and the killings. We got a job as a police. No, I don't want to be a police officer. No, thank you.
No, I mean like, you got somebody who does engineering. Oh, okay. Well, how many fucking auto shops are out there that need some kind of? They need a welder. They need a coder or some shit like that. You know, or somebody that does weather mapping. How many meteorologists that are actually needed out there? These jobs are needed. Nobody. They're looking at civilians that have absolutely no credentials, no experience, no effort, no education, and you got this veteran, this 3, 5, 10-year veteran who literally knows all the insides out, who can fucking fix anything with an engine, literally. But you're gonna fucking throw him on the streets because why?
Right, and the other thing too is that when there's homeless vets, they come back, they found out their pensions have been taken, their 401ks have been taken.
Yeah,
they've been robbed by the government that they fought for.
They're supposed to get $40,000 or whatever, or the last Army commercial that I saw, and I think some $25,000 to college. $25,000 is one fucking semester.
Yep. Yeah, and that's another thing too. If you don't want to go to college and you're a United States soldier or Marine or in the Navy or Guard or whichever, you should be able to come home to a home.
Yes.
To a roof and 4 walls.
Yes.
That's not decrepit. That's not falling apart. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing veterans being forgotten by their families. We're seeing a lot of these people that are protesting the war like I felt bad for the Vietnam soldiers that came home and they were being fucking pelted with sodas and bottles.
I watched a documentary on that. One of the way they explained it, I can't remember her exact words. They didn't understand why they were at the war to begin with. So when they came home, there wasn't any appraisal.
Right. And they didn't even get a say. Like they're like, you're a baby killer. Like, right. And what happens if you didn't even get a chance to fire your gun? Because there's been a lot of wars where soldiers reported, I never even had to fucking reload my rifle. I never even had to fire off a single round.
Right.
And it's like, oh, they're baby killer. No, you're not understanding. And this is why we should not be televising wars.
We really shouldn't.
We should not be televising what's going on in the Gulf and you remember that when they had the boats and the fucking cannons go boom, 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 boom. Like, and we're like, wow, this is war on TV. We should have never had that. And more importantly,
they exaggerated it so much.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be showing the amount of caskets that are coming in coated with the American flag. What we should be doing is respecting our soldiers. We should be respecting what they are doing. Remember, we don't have a draft right now. These people volunteered to fight and put their lives on the line for their country. And our government has decided that they can be homeless on the streets, that they don't get to have a home and whatever. But you've got Biden in office now, and they're the biggest people that endorse food stamps and living assistance and whatnot. How about you put that to our veterans? Mm-hmm. Give them a fucking leg up because they've earned it.
What the hell do I call it? Social Security. Our veterans should be getting that.
Yeah, and we're cutting down on Social Security again. Really and that was during Trump's administration that was happening. So what I find to be interesting is that we didn't have the glorious 4 years. Now, granted, Trump had some good policies, as does Biden. He's got some good policies. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of it that infringes on our rights. Now, Trump and his administration reinstated the Patriot Act. If Biden gets rid of that Patriot Act, nulls and voids it, I won't have much to bitch about for 4 years. Make it our right to be able to protest without petition. Give us back our rights to free speech. Give us back our rights to petition. Give us back our rights of freedom of religion. And more importantly, don't even bring up our fucking firearms. Mr. McCormick writes, I have so much family in the military, and I hope they never have to go through the homeless vet shit ever. I hope the same, man. I hope the same. And as a matter of fact, they should never even have to worry about it. They should wake up and be like, man, I served for 4 years, plus that 2 years of being on call. I never have to worry about it ever again. Ever again. I get to keep my house indefinitely.
Right.
I get to keep my fridge full indefinitely.
USB 11 says every 22 seconds, gentlemen, a soldier commits suicide.
That's true. That is very true.
And it's easy to see why.
And it's sad. But I will say this. When it comes down to the mental health of our United States soldiers, they should come back to therapy, not forced counseling. They should come back to therapy that should be paid for by the United States
Not even
fucking
therapy.
government.
I wouldn't even call it therapy. They need rehabilitation. They spent so much time on the battlefield thinking, acting, and behaving like a survivor, like a killer, like a soldier. They need to learn how to be a civilian again. You can't just take somebody off the battlefield. Hey, here you go. Have a nice life. They're going to be so fucked up from all the car bombs, all the shooting, fucking somebody holding the AK to their head when they're just fucking opening their eyes. They need to be able to readjust.
I prefer therapy to rehabilitation. Rehabilitation just sounds so bad, because of the opiate crisis and such.
Tomato.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I would say therapy. Like, hey, how you feeling? How you doing? When you come and pick this up, like, here you go. This is yours. Like, by the way, this is what happened in the 80s. Soldiers were essentially given homes at like very low prices and things like that, very low cost. But we ended up having that crisis in 2008. Had we not invested in the house market during that time, we invested in government bonds and war bonds and state bonds and whatever bonds during that time instead of housing, we would have never had the housing crash of 2008. Now, with that said, enough of the bailouts and shit like that. The first and only person that should be being bailed out right now are our soldiers. Period. Those that are coming home from serving this country, that should be the only bailout we are concerned with right now. Now, there's those companies and industries and things like that. Tell you what, you hire soldiers, you hire people that have served this country, you'll get a tax break.
Something just came up to me. I think probably one of the things that might help with that is recruiting inmates. I'm not talking about like the super, like the super max inmates that are wanted for like rape, murder, and whatnot. But like, instead of keeping them in their cell for 23 hours a day or whatever, put them to use. Because if they basically, it's just sit there and think about what you did. Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna fucking do all fucking day long, with nothing else, and they get maybe just a few hours of socializing or even social activity. But if you put them in an environment where they have to do something, and you make their ass work, then they have nothing else to think about than what they're doing.
Exactly. Now, remember this. And I want everybody in the chat to go back and watch. The 3 debates that happened, it was never brought up. They never talked about the veterans. It was about this racism over here and the things happening over here and the Proud Boys over there and the KKK over there. Mm-hmm. You said this, Mr. President. You said this, Mr. Biden. They didn't give a fuck about the American people in any of those debates. None of them did.
I can't really think of any debate where they've spoken directly about the American people, with the exception of Clinton.
Now, with that said, that's when I was disappointed in this country, was those politicians that we were left to choose from. That is why I voted for Jorgensen. I didn't vote for Jorgensen as a protest vote against Trump or a protest vote against Biden. They didn't even address, they didn't have the decency to address the things that meant something to me. And I said, fuck you. I'm voting for Jorgensen because you wouldn't even talk about my issues. You wouldn't even talk about the things that are on my mind. I've made the offer to Donald Trump. I've reached out to Biden. I've reached out to Whitmer. None of them wanted to come on to my show. So in 2024, I will have their attention. And what they're going to do is when I come out and I just start discussing my plans for the United States soldiers, for those that fought for this country, a plan for them where they never have to worry about their next meal. They never have to worry about their homes. They never have to worry about this being taken from them. And more fucking importantly, their rights fucking stay. Mm-hmm. Period. Your home stays. Your government will take care of that for you.
I don't even agree with that statement. I think it should be the people. It's y'all that take care of each other. The government needs to be afraid of the people, not the way around.
I understand that. That I do understand, that the people should put the government in its place. I get that. But the government should be working for the people, yes?
Yes, yeah, they should.
Okay, so the government is going to take care of its veterans and make sure that they get all the health care that they need, all the support that they need. Because if there's that many people serving this country, they should be able to come back home and be like, oh man, this is we could build suburbia. We could build all sorts instead of walls. We could have taken that money and built communities for the military to live in.
Just think about this for a second. It's been so long since I've studied the planes. I can't remember what the fucking names of them. But to make a modern day fighter jet is roughly $12 billion. Imagine if we take that budget to make one fighter jet and use it to put it into the school system, we would have enough money to pay for one school lunch for every kid within that school for the next 20 fucking years.
So you liquidate the government, as I suggested people did, that nobody fucking did. Now, there were Republicans that talked about auditing the government. Nobody can find that trillions of dollars at the Pentagon. Lost, poof, gone. Given a slight mention, if I lost a $20 bill at one of my former jobs, you'd get written up. The Pentagon.
I lose $20 every day. How the fuck do you lose what was it, 5 million? No,
It was trillions of dollars. I think it was like 4.3 trillion, some crazy 2.3.
I don't know why I said million.
No, this is in the trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Gone. Like poof. Like we don't know where it went. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Losing $20, that's one thing. But losing, $3, 4, 5 trillion dollars, that's not just a simple oops.
Yeah, that's not like a we don't know.
Yeah.
It tells you how much fucking money is being wasted. You see how much money is being burned by our government, and we're not getting receipts for our fucking tax returns, so you know where your money is going. That's a big no-no too. Every time you pay your taxes, every April, you should get a receipt with where your money went through, and you can look through it and be like, but I don't care if shrimp can walk on a treadmill. So how about giving me a refund for that or distribute it to something else? You should also be able to click when you go into TurboTax. You should be able to click where you want your taxes to go. Ooh, veterans? Yes. Ooh, science? I love, science and studies and so on. Ooh, education for the kids? Yes. School food? Yes. FDA? I don't want to give money to the FDA. Nope. What's next? EPA? Nope. FCC? Obsolete? Nope. Ooh, the study of these islands that might have a cure for cancer? Yeah, buddy.
A little history lesson here. Do you know why the FCC was created?
Yeah, to basically censor radios and shit like that.
There was a radio broadcast of War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah. And people thought that it was like real and shit.
People were flocking to the blocks of downtown New York, looking, waiting, and watching to see for these aliens that were supposed to come out of the sky. And it was a fucking huge catastrophe. And from that day forward, people had to put the disclaimer, this is not real. These are parental advisories, had to censor the F word, et cetera. Nowadays, I have no idea why the FCC exists because you can say fuck at 7 o'clock at night on broadcast television.
Well, you're familiar with a rap duo called Twisted, right?
I'm sorry, who?
Twisted?
Twisted. They don't ring a bell.
Okay, so there's a rap duo called Twisted. They were on a show in Detroit. This is shortly after Abominations came out. And I was so excited to hear their interview that they did. And Monoxide was talking, and I guess they had cussed and said something. And he goes, oh, there's a sign in the window. It says, we just cost the studio $5,000. We cost the studio $5,000 for that word we had just said. And I was dying, and I'm like, wait a minute. Hold the phone. That is excessive. So I'm hearing this, and immediately my brain goes, not on my watch. That's bullshit. So my thought is, defund the FCC. How much money is going to the FCC? Twiggy, do me a favor. Go onto your clicker thinger.
Okay.
And look up how much money the FCC makes. How much money goes into the FCC or whatever the fuck? How much of our budget goes into
the FCC make a year? The FCC is funded entirely by regulatory fees. It has an estimated fiscal 2016 budget of US $388 million. It has 1,454 federal employees as of July 2019.
Oh, it's gonna suck when they're in the fucking yards. They're in the fucking unemployment lines. It's gonna suck when that building is completely emptied. It's gonna suck when in Washington, D.C., we take out the FCC. We take down these fucking governments and these companies that are completely obsolete, and we use those empty buildings. We're like, hey, guess what? We can house some soldiers in here, and it's a nice place.
Not just those, but anybody that privately owns a house with more than, well, I wouldn't say 4 rooms. What do you say, 6 rooms?
Yeah.
Like anybody that owns more than 6 rooms privately,
Mm-hmm.
that house now belongs to the fucking people. And guess what we're using it for?
I disagree with that entirely.
Well, no, think about it. I can't remember her name, but I want to say it was Paris Hilton, but again, I don't remember. This person owns a 72-room house.
But they earned that. Now, listen. With that said, Hollywood, these Hollywood people and things like that, a lot of them actually do some good. A lot of them do some good. A lot of them do. If
you have the ability to own your own private jet, if you have the ability to own a 70, 80, 90, 105, 6,000 fucking room house, you can use that to fucking put in for your country. If you're making $5 million fucking dollars a year, you don't need all that money.
But how many Americans are really making $5 million a year, realistically? Not many.
How much money does Jim Carrey make for a movie?
I mean, how much money did fucking Charlton Heston make per movie?
How much money does Ozzy Osbourne have?
He probably doesn't even know.
Exactly. If you have that much money, then there's no reason why you should be putting it for your fucking community.
No. And here's where we get into the master debating, okay? If I woke up tomorrow, right, and I had, hey, somebody deposited $8.5 million into your account right now, like this happened while you were asleep, $8.5 million into your bank account, the first thing I'm doing is getting me a yacht. Why? Because I always said I wanted a yacht. And as soon as I get a yacht, I'm a happy guy. Just to say I've got one. I don't even need to know where it is, right? I just need to know that somewhere out there I have a yacht, right? The rest of that money is going to go into protecting the great white sharks, right? Which is something that I care near and dear about. There are 3,000. They definitely need to be paying higher taxes, though. No loopholes. I disagree with that. And Taryn, as much as I adore you and as much as I love you and as much as I've got a patch here that makes me think of you all the time, I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this with all the care in the world. You make your own money. You make your own money. Now, here's where I have an issue.
Let me ask you this, though, real quick.
One second. Let me finish this. As much as I don't think that it's fair to tax somebody because of their success, tax them more because they're more successful, right? Not a lot of them are trust fund babies. Matter of fact, there's people that owned their own property, owned their own house, started from nothing. The guy who started the Benford Brewing Company did it the hard way. He started by developing and making pools for people. He started by getting his hands dirty.
I'm not saying you don't deserve the money that you earn.
1 second. But when somebody like Walmart comes up with the excuse that they can't pay their employees. Now, here's what's fucked up about Walmart. The majority of Walmart workers are on food stamps. Where are they going to do their shopping? Walmart. So Walmart isn't only paying them and having those paychecks spent at Walmart, but they're also getting the tax break and the credits and all that for food stamps being used there. So
that's
Walmart
what I'm talking about.
Is double dipping. Now with Walmart, that should be criminal. That's not private either. That is a public company. That's not somebody who started from the ground up. I'm pretty sure that dude's long been dead. So you can't even use that anymore. All right?
Now, when you talk about Walmart, you also have to take into consideration people like Meijer, Kmart, and even Amazon for that matter. And for people like Steve Benzo, let me ask you this, Steve. I called you Steve. I am so sorry. Let me ask you this, Sid.
I've been called worse.
Do you know how much money Steve Benzos has?
No. But I also don't know how much money Ozzy has. Or how much money Henry Rollins has.
Steve Bezos is the richest man in the world right now.
And I've never even heard of him.
He owns Amazon.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, his numbers are somewhere beyond $300 million. $300 million.
Okay.
If he gave $1 million to every single person in the United States, he would still have more fucking money than all 315 million people combined.
Okay, so let me put it to you like this, Twiggy, on how taxes should work and how it should always work. Okay. If you make a little bit of money, right? Let's say you're $7.50 an hour. Okay. Let's say you're making $7.50 an hour.
Okay.
You should be taxed 15% of $7.50 an hour, right? But
Okay.
the rich, if they're making $300 million, they're also being taxed 15%. But as Taryn brought up, there are loopholes that they'll go through. What they'll do is they'll buy expensive dinners, they'll make investments, they'll put money in offshore accounts, things like that. But here's the kicker. I do the same kind of shit. I'm going to be completely transparent with y'all. I'm going to be very transparent with each and every one of you. When people have purchased these patches right here, when people have purchased these patches, when people have bought my books, when people have just sent me money for promo and sent me money for, hey, advertisement and so on, when they've sent me money, you know what I've done? Send it as a gift. Make sure you send it as a gift so I don't get taxed because you can't tax gifts. I've done it. I've done the poor man's fucking getting out of the paying the taxes.
Yeah, PayPal has a feature where if you are paying for a business or a service, they take 2.9%. But if you send it to a friend or family member, then you get the whole thing.
Well, the friend or family that's sending it actually ends up paying that fee. I don't know if you know that, but the friend or family ends up paying that fee. Now, what's interesting is that when you pay that fee or whatever, then you're showing that you're paying for that fee, which means you actually paid the taxes on that gift, essentially. And it was gifted, which means I don't get taxed for it. I've done that. Flat out. I've done that. And I've even flat out told people, and they're like, hey, how do I send you money? I'm like, send it to this friend and family. And sometimes
I'm just asking with people like with Steve Bezos and whatever, all these rich people in the world, there's so much fucking poverty. There's so many people that cannot eat. So many people out there that are making less than minimum wage. Are you really going to sit there and tell me they cannot, just put out or start some kind of program or put out, just a nice chunk of their money to these people that actually need it? If they give it to the charities aren't going to fucking give it to them.
Well, and that's another thing too. Charities take their cuts.
The charities don't do shit to help.
And here's another thing. If I started a charity right now, if I started a charity right this second, how for sure are you that it's actually going to that charity? Now,
Exactly my point.
Now, I've done the donating to Great White Sharks funds. I've done it. I took the option to where we were able to donate to a Great White Shark. Now, because of the COVID thing, by the time I'd done that, they weren't shipping out certificates and things like that. They weren't doing it. They weren't like, here's your proof of purchase and here's your thing for tracking for the Great White Shark or whatever. Right. But the money did go through I think it was the World Wildlife Foundation, or it was there's a foundation down in Florida that's monitoring the sharks in that area, the great white sharks that are coming down from, I fucking forget. But regardless, there's organizations that you can look into through the BBB and things of that nature that you can have investigated and so on. You can look into it for yourself on where that money goes. Now, what I did with my money, and I've got a great white shark right fucking here on my vest. I love great white sharks. Fucking love them. There's like 3,800 great white sharks left on the planet. There's 7.6 billion people on this planet. So I've got an idea. We talked about this. I don't know if you remember, but lethal injection just costs so much money.
Yeah. Feed them to the sharks.
But here's what I realized. If you increase the food and increase whatever for animals, they tend to repopulate.
Okay.
So if we take these people on death row, you put them in a helicopter and you fly it over, right? And you cut their arms, right? You're like slice, and they're like, "Ow!" You're like, "Yeah, you killed."
I'm gonna stop you. No, I gotta stop you right there. I gotta stop you right there.
Okay.
They did a test. I can't remember what shark it was, but the test they used human blood, cow blood, and two others. I can't remember them, but for some reason, the human bloods the sharks were just not attracted to.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
How do we get rid of 7.6 billion people then?
You are on the right track, though. I will say this: Amazonian piranhas.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good one. What about
They will
anacondas?
devour a human body in less than 30 seconds.
All right, so let's think about this death row thing real quick, because I mean, costing millions of, and go look this up real quick. How much it costs to execute somebody via lethal injection, and when the last time we did it was, and you'll be
Last time we
amazed.
did it, I think, was Timothy McVeigh, if I remember correctly.
No. It was after. This was way after that. Way after that.
That's the last one I remember.
Well, I think
In
he was-
2011, the average cost of a drug-used lethal injection was just $83.55
yeah.
per dose.
Yep.
By 2013, authorities in Texas paid $1,500. In Missouri, they paid $8,000. And in 2017, Virginia agreed to pay $16,500 per dose.
Per dose.
Per dose.
Per dose.
Per dose.
So let's abolish lethal injection. I'm thinking something a little more gory, something a little more
A
violent,
little more entertaining.
Yeah, and can we put it on pay-per-view?
Ooh.
Right? Think about it. What is the thing that they teach in the Bible?
They teach a lot of things in the Bible.
But they talk about punishment and vengeance and the wrath of God, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Check this out. We start executing people and turn them into like the old Colosseum games of the Roman Empire. Think about it. George Carlin had a long list of it.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was, what we could do is bring back beheadings. We go, and just better than that, we go to the top of the hill and we cut their heads off. And as the heads are rolling down the hill, we bet which fucking bucket they're going to land in. The mob can gamble on it. It'll be Sunday fun for the kids. And check this
that would
out.
be epic.
You know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't burned people in oil. Do you know who a great sponsor for that would have been? The Shell Company.
Or Sicko.
Or any of them, really. You know what else we could do? What's this? Apple Apple M1 chip for Mac. This changes everything. I don't have a
People
Mac.
who really deserve it will be on Death Island. They needed that with the Epstein Island. Epstein's Island is the new dedicated Death Island.
Actually, but I was thinking about doing with Death Island, right? Or with Epstein Island, right? You know how they do those? This is going to be fucked up. No one's going to laugh at this. This is really fucked up. Gambling and death. Thank you, Candy. See, that's why she's going to the White House with me. And I've already talked to her husband. He's going to be on my security team.
Nice.
Yeah, he's going to be on my security detail. So
What I think we should do is anybody who likes the series offenders, world's dangerous game or most dangerous game.
ooh, they got to climb, they got to do the monkey climb or whatever, but it's across barbed wire over fucking shark infested waters.
I was just
Ooh.
gonna say we got to put like lions and wolves and bears in there and shit.
Ooh, bring back the population of the wolves and lions, which are going extinct.
Exactly.
We're doing it for the right reasons, and it's gonna be cheap. We
Make
basically
it
just
like the Condemned. Put up cameras everywhere in the island that people can like check on them.
Ooh, that's good. We should do that. Like, that is actually rather genius.
I'd pay for that shit.
Right, on pay-per-view.
Hell yeah.
And it's not going to be like $75 and then you're paid for it. No. If you want to watch it, you got to pay by subscription to the Death Row Network.
Yeah.
It's right after Showtime. So you've got HBO.
Survivor on the Death Row Network.
Yes, and it's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. And but here's the best part, right? Here's the best part. While we got that going on, you know how you get to take tours of Alcatraz?
Mm-hmm.
You get to take tours of Epstein Island. That's what it'll be used for. It's just a tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where he, did that one thing that we probably really shouldn't
this is the
talk
cell
about.
where he killed himself. Didn't the government kill him? Remove him!
Actually, I did tell people this. If the government did in fact kill Epstein, if the government killed the guy, and I find out, I promise I will reveal all that information because there was no way that would jeopardize national security. There's no way. There is no way. The only person that jeopardizes is whoever is fucking connected to Epstein. And I'm here to tell you right here, right now, I don't give a fuck who that is. I find out that somebody killed him so that way they could get away with raping children. I find out, I will reveal it all of it. And I don't mean like anonymously. I mean, this has been checked by me. Here's my signature. Here's my other signature. Here's an application thing that I filed for to make sure I could get all of this shit. When I was told no, I reminded them that I was president, told them to go fuck themselves. No, and I'm not even just going to send it out to one person. CNN, Fox News, ABC, NBC, small-time podcasters, Joe Rogan, fucking the dude who does Get Off My Lawn, which is one of the greatest podcasts ever. I'm going to be sending it to everybody so everybody gets to talk about it. And I'll be like, yeah, I fucking did that. Now what? And even the government, think about it like this, though. Think about how other countries do that. Yes? Well, I just want to let you know that the president has actually given away classified information to his own people. You fucking what? Yeah, this guy ain't fucking around. Maybe we shouldn't use those nukes, huh? Maybe we shouldn't do that. Listen here, wonton soup. For those of you that got that joke, that was in Grains of Chaos. It was fucking hilarious. Sid Jones was fucking dragging this guy behind a car. And he's like, what is your name? And he's like, the guy wouldn't tell him. So he looks at his ID and he goes, hey, listen here, wonton soup. I fucking died. And the people that read it were like, can you leave that out? I'm like, no, it's fucking great. It's fucking excellent.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Now you're speaking my language, says Candy. So, and that's my thing, though. If I'm willing to reveal all this information to the United States, to its citizens, and other countries find out, they're going to be like, this guy ain't fucking around. Like, this guy's like, nah, I'm going to fucking go home and tell my people what you just done. And they're going to be like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, yeah, they've got guns. I know they've got guns because I just put in a fucking executive order that every household will be shipped an AR-15 with 4 mags completely loaded with gun cleaning kits and a how-to DVD on everything. Yeah, on everything to know about the AR-15. Now every single household in America has a firearm. At least, even if you've already got firearms, you're getting an AR-15. Why? Because they're cheap.
No, that's an executive decision that I can get behind.
Up top. Everyone gets it. Even like people are like, I hate guns. Yeah, I got one now. It is your duty as a civilian to protect your property. And defend this country when needed. So if you're ever worried about, oh, do you remember Red Dawn? Yeah, I remember Red Dawn. And guess what? We'd never have to worry about that. Because one of the people who was interviewed, he said, why didn't you invade America? And he's like, we feared every American carrying a gun behind every blade of grass.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that. And I remember, you remember reading like Marvel, and I don't know if Marvel was actually a part of it, but DC would actually create these adventures where they would take on Hitler.
Yeah.
I don't know who exactly it was, but I don't know if Hitler put the executive order out himself, but the Nazis actually sent a death threat to Detective Comics for making those comic strips.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Like I said, man, we pissed off a lot of countries, but the kicker is we wouldn't fucking give in to terrorism. We never gave in to the fascist regimes. Yet when it comes to our government, we're down on our knees, sucking its dick and down in its balls and saying this is perfectly fine to have to ask permission, to petition, to protest, to have freedom of speech. Now we've got social media that 78% of Americans use where we can't say what we want and feel because of bullying and because, I don't like this. And I'm offended by this. And then you're treating your kids to be a bunch of fucking pussies. And now you've pussified your children to where they can't fucking figure out whether they identify as a fucking tree or a frog. And you've got your kids that are sitting there saying, you can't bully me because I'm this and I'm something special because I have a participation trophy. And
that's exactly why you get bullied, you fucking moron.
Yeah, and you should be beaten into the fucking dirt for that. Like if I said some shit like that, best believe if I was 8 years old and I said shit like that.
Sorry. Yes, that's the one that I was talking about, Candy.
She's a brilliant mind. She really is.
You're a fucking nerd, man.
So one of the big issues that I have when it comes to what our society is because our government had said that we start to feel bad. So now we got to just do handouts for everybody. Yet veterans get left behind.
No shit.
But these hardworking Americans get left behind and fucked over and screwed. Where's
their participation trophy?
You've got a class war that's happening right now of people that have made their own money in a country where you can have the American dream, in a country where we have endorsed motherfuckers to be able to speak on our behalves, where we've had celebrities that actually stood and marched with people for all the right reasons. You had Charlton Heston, who is reprimanded and ridiculed for being a racist, yet he marched with Martin Luther fucking King for civil rights.
But that's when people had balls, though.
Yeah, I mean, of course they had balls then, but now it's like, no, I just want to pitch and fit, and everything should just be handed to me.
I can't help but notice the transition from what you're talking about and where we are now really started right about the 90s.
Well, when I started realizing that it was okay for kids to whoop my ass, but I wasn't able to defend myself, and then all of a sudden there was this like it was right about 2004, 2005.
Yeah, about 2004.
When I was sitting there really getting pissed off, and now I'm just picking fights in school. They're like, yo, you don't get to do that. I'm like, tell you what, if you don't do something about it, I'm going to whoop his ass all up and down these fucking stairs.
Yeah, I remember saying that to one of my teachers. I was getting bullied by one of the kids, and
do something about it, or I'm going to.
We were being disrupted. We were going back and forth, and they sent both of us to the principal, and we were going back and forth in the office. And I'm like, if you don't fucking do something about this, I will, and you're not going to fucking like what I do.
Right. And you had to force the principals and force the teachers' hands to be like, listen, if you're not going to do something about this, I will. I am dead set on it, and there's not much you can do to change it. But we've allowed our kids to become pussies. And the other thing is schools have been able to hide their bullying. Here's what they've done. Every school has done it at least once. Well, okay, there's 5 kids bullying this one kid. If we suspend 5 kids, we have to admit there's a problem. But if we suspend just one kid, it was an isolated incident. Suspend the one kid, the 5 kids get to go and do their thing.
Yep.
Every school has done that.
And even then, all you're really doing is giving the kid a fucking vacation. If they're not going to get you in school, if they're going to get you outside of the school, in which case you're fucking powerless.
Unless it's on your fucking front lawn and you've got an AR-15 that's been given to you by the United States government to gun that motherfucker down.
You don't even need a gun. Stand your ground law.
Right,
in the state of Michigan, if somebody forces their way onto your property, you tell them do not come in or you tell them to leave, you have the right to beat their ass.
And drop that mag and fucking reload.
Goddamn right.
Now, one of the issues I have with Michigan, though, if you look at the way that the law is written, you can defend yourself, but brandishing a firearm is a felony.
Yeah. Firearms, stiletto, the knuckle duster,
switchblades, and
switchblade, and a butterfly knife.
Yeah, can't brandish any of those things. Can't even really carry them. Can't even carry them.
They're illegal because they're easily concealed.
Right, but you can conceal carry a pistol.
You can conceal carry a 38 in your fucking purse.
Right, but you can't carry a butterfly knife.
Right.
You tell me where that makes sense.
Oh, I got my fucking knife on me.
I carry a karambit and a fucking tracker knife. I love my little karambit. I love
that
my
little
karambit.
claw thing.
Oh yeah, the one that fucking stabbed me in the fucking arm and I damn near fucking bled to death. Yeah, that's such something fierce. But listen, man, I'm gonna say this. I want everyone to listen to me very carefully. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. But if you want to protect your country, you can do it from your fucking doorstep and contribute by protecting your property, making it so that way it is not necessary to call the police. To making it so that way you can defend your home without.
You really don't have to call the police. It is not law.
Right. Unless you've gunned the guy down, you need someone to drag the body away. Call the local funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they should get a tax break too, shouldn't they?
The funeral parlor?
Yeah. If we give them a tax break, their caskets might be slightly cheaper.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think they should deserve a tax break.
I think so too. All the work that they're doing. And the undertakers too. Do they still dig with shovels or no? It's just excavators now.
No, they use backhoes.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, do you remember back in the day they had the undertaker, he had the hat and the fucking trench coat and he'd dig graves?
Oh, the big dude they used to do the choke slam and the tombstone.
No. The actual undertakers back in the day. The actual undertakers.
Yeah, he had the big ass hat and the fucking flame and calling lightning.
No. Undertaker. It was a job title that Americans could get. You could be an undertaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow, man. Wow. How old are you?
Do I have to answer that?
I mean, am I younger or older than you? I'm 30. Are you younger or older?
I am older than you.
Okay. So I know about undertakers with the shovels and okay. All right. That's fine. That's cool. I just wanted to establish that. So but again, these are things I think about. Because think about funeral homes, those are privately owned, right?
Most of them are.
I don't think that there's like a McDonald's version of a funeral parlor.
Well, not that I know of, but I can't remember the name of it, but the one that my mom was buried with, they actually own 3 of them.
Okay, well that's again it's still like privatized. It's not like a McDonald's thing. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Yeah, give me 2 number 3s and do you have an oak casket or like the red cherry? Because I'm really looking at the red. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Would you like fries with that?
Yeah, just 2 because we got the casket for the 3rd person. I don't think they're having fries anytime soon. God damn.
Candy's fucking dying right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably like. I think that's why people would look at me and they'd be like, wait a minute, this guy's going to become... Can it be any fucking worse than things already are?
He's going to be president, but I'm going to...
You'll be in the White House somewhere. I'll put you to work. I'll
be somewhere in the White House. I know that much.
Yeah. There's like a basement area with like a bunch of computers. I've seen that on a movie once. It's like a downstairs area, like a bunch of computers.
I will be either spying on people or watching porn. Maybe a little bit of both.
The United States government's we're trying to cut the cost and trying to make it so we can house veterans. What is this guy doing? I pay him to watch porn.
Live porn. They just don't know I'm watching them.
Says the guy that just dismantled the FCC and was trying to. He's paying. Okay, all right.
Taxpayers' money put to great use.
Oh, I'm sure they'd be pissed if they found out. Be like, that's where the trillions of dollars from the Pentagon went, the bastards.
Just as the president, I will see to it that he is personally penalized for this, but behind the scene, nice work.
Honestly, up top. No, but that's another thing too. People are talking about the lack of funding for wildlife and things like this and things where we can actually find cures from like frogs in the rainforest, which is weird. Like, hey, we found out that this frog could actually be the cure for fucking dementia. What? What?
And that's another thing too. These fucking drugs that keep coming out with. I literally know 5 people that could say, "Got a pill for that,"
Right? Or
we got all these different fucking natural supplements just coming from within the earth itself that do a better job than the fucking pills. But they're not,
which is another thing we got to get into.
Fucking DA.
That's another thing we got to talk about. We gotta defund the FDA and take away their pharmaceutical little fucking lobbying. Yes. They don't get that anymore. Now you guys get to start from scratch. You guys get to go and investigate down in the rainforest. That's right. I'm taking the scrawniest white motherfuckers with the big fucking glasses that are fucking nerds and be like, you pack your shit. You're being sent to the rainforest to go find a cure for cancer. Now go.
They've already caveat. They've actually found a cure for cancer.
When?
From what I understand, they had it for a long time, but it was about, and now it's probably 5 years-ish ago. But if I remember correctly, it was specifically lung cancer. So,
looking it up right now.
Feel free to fact check me if you want. I don't know the specific details of it.
Well, this is called MyCultura. It's an ad. It's an advertisement. Let's see.
I remember seeing something about Anonymous saying something about it, and I looked it up, and it was God, I can't fucking remember where I saw it.
Well, Alex Trebek, unfortunately, he passed away.
I got something. Go ahead.
Apparently, he had underwent experimental cancer treatment from L.A. He still died, but
people with non-small cell lung cancer can be treated with surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, targeted therapy, or a combination of these treatments. People with small lung cancer are usually treated with radiation therapy and chemotherapy surgery, an operation where doctors cut out the cancer tissue. That's what they've been using for the past however many years. God damn, where the hell is it? Small. Yes, it's not coming up.
I mean, there was a guy in the 1900s that came up with a cure for cancer. He came by it by accident, but as it turned out, they had some really, really bad side effects, like constant like migraines and sick and what have you.
Right.
So there was that. But again, if we can find an actual natural cure like the fucking the end all be all, it's going to be somewhere in the devil's favorite playground, the fucking rainforest. And if you don't believe me that the devil had something to do with the rainforest, go look at the shit that comes out of there. There's a vampire fish. It's got like teeth like fucking this, like they're fucking, and they come down like this, and they're so long they've actually got holes in their area down here for their teeth to retract into. So it's that's fucked when you need holes in your mouth because your teeth are so fucking big. They need a place to be able to sit so you don't fucking die.
Yeah, there are fish that are like that. Their teeth get so long that it actually pokes through the top of their mouth.
Right, and it's fucking terrifying. Deals being kept, by the way. But there's that kind of shit down in the rainforest. If there's fucking centipedes that are this fucking big, if there's frogs that when you lick them, you hallucinate, there's a cure for cancer somewhere down there where the giant, with the most giant
ants
snakes.
As big as your fucking hand.
Right, like the cure is there someplace. So I'm going to send the FDA and the EPA. They're going to go on a hiking trip down to the rainforest. I don't want them to call me until they found something.
Going off memory, I believe the cancer industry, I think, makes like $500 million a year or something like that.
And still nothing?
And still nothing.
Okay, so we're paying for all this research to what? Test the same vial over and over and over and over and over and over again?
What's the definition of insanity?
Exactly my point. I say we try something new, we try something bold. We send those nerds in black ties and white t-shirts down to the fucking Amazon. Go find a cure now. And by the way, if I don't hear from you in 2 weeks, I'm going to assume you're dead, and I'm sending in another crew. And they'll probably be prisoners of war or some shit.
All right, check this out. How much money does cancer research make a year? That's what I typed in.
Yep.
We are also not funded by the U.S. government. We are primarily funded from personal donations like yours. In 2019, you helped us invest more than $145.9 million in cancer research since 1946. We've invested more than $4.5 billion in research grants to the best scientists across the country. That's on Google.
Not government funded.
Yeah.
So the government's not even trying to look for a cure for cancer. And you mean to tell me we still have the FDA and the EPA? And you think they're fucking necessary and they're not even doing anything to find a cure for cancer?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, well, that backs up my point. Pack your shit. You're going to the Amazon.
No shit.
I'm sending you down to the rainforest. I'm sending you down to places all across the fucking world. I'm sending you to fucking China. I'm sending you to China. And after Trump just got done pissing them off and Biden's about to go piss them off, there's your new home.
Honestly, I think we really should deploy more scientists to China. Simply perfected an ancient Chinese secret for literally fucking everything. These guys even came up with the very first impotence pill in the fucking 1400s.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, instead of us having to have combat with these countries, have some sort of issues with these countries, be like, hey, listen. What if both of our governments could be credited with finding the cure for cancer?
I was just going to say we could make some kind of like, I don't want to say retroactive, but some kind of deal or whatever. Like even the shit with Walmart, we can make some kind of agreement where we could have the Walmart name staying in the US, making the shit that we need for us, and then China could have whatever the fuck they need with Walmart and do it the way they want, so that way it doesn't affect us.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I was just about to ask, does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense to me. And here's another thing too. If there's a country out there that's working hard to find cures, it's working hard to do whatever, shouldn't we be working with that country to make the shit better? Instead of working under this like New World Order type shit, shouldn't it be like, instead of like having like some sort of like these fucking evil deals and shit like that? That's one of the things I credited with Trump, is that he actually went over to North Korea and tried to like simmer shit down, right? Yeah. Like with all these dictators and shit like that.
Who is it? Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
That guy, Kim Jong-un. I mean, that guy's going to hate me. If I get elected, he's going to be like, I seen that live stream, or however he talks.
Hey, Raw. You should see Jim Police.
God damn it.
What's the sound you make? What is the sound you make when you come across an infidel?
Jesus. We are definitely going to have this episode completely dissected by everybody. Like everybody is just like, can you believe that he said this and he wants to run for president? I'm like, did you play the part where I talked about the government not supporting cancer? No, of course you fucking didn't. Of course you fucking didn't.
He was in the health. I refuse to let him represent us.
And he's something about watching porn. I don't understand. God damn it.
I'm sorry. I refuse to shake hands with that man.
I'd like you to meet Twiggy Joe. Sorry. Heard good things, Twiggy. Heard lots about you. That's all right. Yeah, please send Twiggy up. Yeah, make sure he's got the extra sanitizer. Yes, extra hand sanitizer. Yeah, he's gonna need that. Yeah, all right, thanks. Yeah, just bring him up when he matter of fact, just hose him down. Just take him up back and hose him down, and then send him into the Oval Office. Thanks. And what's funny is I feel like that we've got policies here where it's like, listen, we like whatever happened to a phone call, right? Whatever happened to a phone call where you could call, like, it's like, Mr. President, we have an issue over here. We have fucking ambassadors here from like Russia and Taiwan and all these fucking places, right? Like, you mean to tell me I can't call Putin and be like, hey, Putin, listen, I've been hearing some shit. Right? I know. The one with the tits, right? The fucking, these women's rights things. Am I right? Shit gets out of hand. How do you guys handle that over there? Oh, yeah. I don't think we could do that here in America. But like, seriously, can you like send me video of it? Right? You still stone them like with rocks, like with big ones? What are you doing next weekend, Putin? What are you doing? What are you doing next weekend, Putin?
Now hold on. What kind of rocks?
Stones. That's why I said stones. That's why I said stones. Not crack rock. Yeah, that's what they do in Russia. They throw crack rocks at women. That's just degrading. That's just degrading. You're calling every woman over there a crack whore, and that's not fair. But if a woman gets out of line and they still do the stoning thing, I kind of, okay, you know what? Sometimes. Now,
wasn't Putin accused of actually being in the Russian mob?
Yeah, I mean, Putin was accused of a lot of things.
But like now colluding. We're going to be upset over a man getting his rocks off from a woman, even though he was in the Russian mob.
Well, here's what I don't understand. Like, people like say Putin's evil and whatnot, and like they colluded in the election or whatever, but they were saying that Hillary colluded with Russia, and then they said that Trump colluded with Russia, and I'm like, well, which was it? Because it's not like
they even said the same thing about Bush.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, why does Russia give a fuck who's in charge?
No shit.
Like, Putin's not going to give a shit. Putin's going to do Putin things like riding grizzly bears and sharks with laser
If the
beams.
this is the way I see it, and Sid, you can feel free to correct me. I'm always open to that. If the United States and Russia were to ever actually go to war, my money's on Russia.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. For one reason only. And you're not going to like my answer.
Please.
How do you have red-blooded Americans ready to fight for their country when they're ready to come up out of their homes and loaded firearms raised to the skies and said, "Bring it, you fucking red bastards"? And how can you have that kind of America where they're waving their flags proudly and an AR-15 in this hand and a 1911 Colt 45 in their holster when they can't even decide if they want to identify as a frog or a tree? How do you have
A frog or a
country
tree,
like
they can't decide whether we're in the fucking bestiality or necrophilia, man.
right? How do you have a strong country? How do you have a backbone of a country when they're worried about what gender they
And
identify
not
as?
even that. If you watch an episode of Cops Over Here and then look at how they handle criminal activity over there, I'm kind of afraid to piss people off over there.
It's like for Cops Over Here, it's like white trash entertainment. Watching over there, it's a snuff series, is what it is. It's just
Pretty much.
murder.
This is an episode of Cops. Hey, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Come here, I want to talk to you. Why are you
Bam!
doing that? Why are you doing that? No, why are you the person that I'm pointing at? Why are you doing that? Oh, okay, go on. You're okay. Go on.
Right. Or it's like, yeah, they cuff you, they get you in the car, and you're like, all right, we caught you with crack rocks. We found crack rocks. All right, so you're going down to the station. They shut the door. But in Russia, I feel like they just like kind of like execute people.
Over
Did
in
you
Russia,
steal from
they're
that
beating your
woman?
ass to the fucking ground, pointing a gun at your head, putting your boot on you, and asking you what your favorite color is.
Right.
You know.
Sexy tree sex. I want to be a tree. I'm decided. Y'all are horrible. I love it though. So, but again, Taryn's proven my point where it's like there are Americans that are so focused on what they identify as and I need to be accepted for this and this, that, and the other. Where I'm sitting here thinking, well, if you identify as a tree and I've got a chainsaw, then what I'm about to do is not murder.
Exactly.
Right.
What about this? If you identify as a frog and I get hungry, is that cannibalism?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if you identify as something and I have to respect that, and now suddenly I identify as a backwoods Texas redneck hunter, and you're
You
a
just made me
deer.
think of something.
I'm Elmer Fudd, motherfucker. Come here.
Okay, now think about this. This is actually a really big one. The battle of sexes, men versus women. It is not okay to hit a female for
But it's okay to hit a
any
male.
reason.
But it's okay to hit a male.
Gender identification.
Yeah.
A woman born with a vagina identifies as a man has now made an attempt at breaking my jaw.
Right.
Am I allowed to hit her?
Nope.
A man is identifying as a woman just cup checked me. Am I allowed to hit that person?
Probably not, no.
We have to treat you in the way in which you identify, which means if you're a man identifying as a woman, you're a pussy. But if you're a woman identifying as a man, I'm allowed to break your fucking jaw.
Yep. I
Think
agree.
about that.
Yep. So now here's another thing, though. A minute that a woman decides to put her fist up at me or tries to like do whatever, I don't care if it's on the news. I'll bludgeon a bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah. I don't
You
care if
want to
you're male or
tussle like a
female.
man? You want to face me like a man? You want to fight me like a man? I'll beat you to death. Fuck you.
I don't care if you're male or female. If you swing at me, I'm going to put everything I fucking can to make sure that I leave my mark on you.
Yep. Fucking
You
busting
will
nose just
fucking
like
walk
that.
away with a
Bam.
scar.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. If you look at the shit that's gone on in this country, of course we're the fucking joke of it. It's not who our world leaders are. It's who the American people are. Fucking jokes. Do you think people in Russia are identifying as trees right now? No. Why? Because they'd be sent to the firing squad. That is why. They'd be like, you are not fit for this country. Off you go.
No shit.
If you identify as a fucking deer, it is my American. It is not your right. I've looked through the amendments. You do not have the right to identify as whatever the fuck you want. If you said it to one of the founding fathers, they'd be like, "Really? Did you hear what our neighbor just said?" I know. I wish we had one of those rifles with a scope on it right now and look through that window and just
identify as a deer, bitch. I'm having venison tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, Nope, definitely not venison. I've had venison. This is not venison. Not even slightly. I guess
he's wearing the horn. She's a deer.
Yeah, you can identify as whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't make it so. Want to find out? I'll cook you. And if you don't taste like venison, if you don't taste like venison, you fuck. But this is another thing that I find to be interesting, right? There's another thing, equal rights, right? In this country, we always talk about equal rights. Okay, All right. So if you've been in a job, Twiggy, for 5 years, you've been in a job for 5 years, busting your ass, right? And you've been making the same amount. You haven't even gotten a raise yet. 5 years, right? And so let's use the Sid Jones Network, for example. Ooh, that's a good one. You've been working for me for 5 years. I've been paying you the same. You haven't asked me for a raise. You've been busting your ass, doing your podcast, whatever, right? The second I hire a female, right? And she comes into the break room, right? And I just
want to say one thing. This is sounding very familiar.
Oh, isn't it, though?
It is.
Oh, isn't it, though? And she comes along and she opens up that sandwich that she fucking better have made. And she looks at you and says, so aren't you going to say hi to me because I'm something special and important? And you look at her and you're like, you got hired on. And then she decides to discuss how much money she makes. And you find out she makes more than you do. And she hasn't even done a podcast yet. You come find me and you come chew my ass out.
Pitch me off.
Right. But that's equality, man. That's the America we have to live in now. Apparently, equality means women get a leg up because they've been oppressed for.
Well, it's a double entendre. If you work in the same field as another person doing the same exact thing, then you should be getting the exact same amount as the other person that is there.
Unless you've been there for 5 years, you should be making more. And then once you started off, you make what that person made 5 years ago, and you work your way up just as this motherfucker did. I don't care if you got tits and vagina and a nice ass. You're going to put in the fucking work. Wow, I am definitely going to get shit on. And I don't think we're ever going to get a female to work for us ever again. I think we've pretty much just annihilated any chance of us having a female podcaster. Share this with your friends, families, and your loved ones, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to love this. Also, your future president-elect right here for 2024.
I'm still trying to figure out where in the White House I'm going to be.
We'll figure it out. We will figure that out. And like I said, I know Ice-T will be in my cabinet, so that's going to be fucking fantastic. Oh my God. He's Secretary of Defense.
Makes it that far. He's already fucking up there in age.
I know, but that's why he's going to be Secretary of Defense, because he's going to be like, hey, listen, back when I was in war, we did this. And he's going to have that old school mentality. I'll be like, yeah, it's a great idea. But it's not so old school that it's somebody from World War II being like, we got to send the bombers. It's not Normandy, man. Calm down. Like, we have stealth jets now. Yeah, what? Never mind, Gramps. All right, so ignore him for a minute. What's our game plans? Like, what are our military options? What can we do to deal with this country that's declared war on us?
See, that's another thing too. Coming back to the military thing, we don't need to be in all these different fucking countries.
No, we really don't. We're taking up a lot of space and a lot of real estate. Although, granted, there is one country I don't mind us being in because no soldier has ever bitched about it.
That is?
We must leave some in Germany. Ja, Deutschland.
Oh, yeah, very good, very good.
Gut, ja, sehr gut, sehr gut. Heil Safir. So, I walked up to Candy's husband. Swear to God, he was talking about like, all because he's Jewish. I don't know if you know that, but he's Jewish. Candy's Jewish.
I didn't know that.
So we were cracking jokes about Nazis and shit. Like he started in. I said, and I says to him, I says, I walked up to this one guy, and he was asking me like if I was being treated well at the gathering and shit like that. And he was to explain to somebody that I was told that I was a racist. So I walked up to him and I says, man, I had no idea you were this tall. Holy shit. And so I did that to Candy's husband at the festival, and there was people looking at us like we're walking around like we're like telling this story, like doing the hand gestures and shit. And we're looking over, we're like, fuck. They can't hear what we're saying. We're just two white guys saluting each other right now. Like this is gonna end poorly.
Just to add on to that, I actually did the goose step in the middle of Walmart.
It was a Trump
with
rally, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. This was years ago. But
Ah.
you know those pea shooters that they got that look like rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one of them and started doing it.
Oh, so you had it like sitting like this, and then you did this with it over your shoulder. Oh, that is so good, yeah. Ah, so
I was with my friend. His face was so fucking red. I thought he was gonna beat my fucking ass.
Hey, Crazy McCormick, are you here yet? Or are you worried about us losing the network here on Twitch? Like, I'm pretty sure he's like, ah, fuck, god damn it.
Crazy probably thinking, oh my god, they're gonna get us fucking kicked off, man.
Isn't it gonna suck if I end up getting elected president too? Isn't that gonna be a shit thing? And be like, look back on this live stream, and they'd be like, ah, fuck.
Crazy probably thinking, you better give me one fucking hell of a raid, motherfucker.
Yeah, you better. I think I've just increased the cut that I'm getting because I'm the one issuing these paychecks. God damn it. It's kind of like us fucking with Crazy's paycheck at this point because he's
pretty much
of our payroll and he wants us to be on Twitch. We're 2 followers away, ladies and gentlemen, from making affiliates. So if you could just give us a follow, a subscribe, that would be fucking excellent. So we can make affiliates, so we can give Crazy an even bigger heart attack. That would be fucking awesome. I would appreciate.
Yeah, what he said.
And poor Crazy McCormick right now, he's like, God damn it! We haven't even made affiliate yet. We're gonna get a fucking god damn it.
Crazy, I think that'll be a good time to invest in one of these.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Well, we're almost at that 2-hour mark. We haven't discussed how long this show goes for. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we sign off here, Twiggy?
Other than my advertisements, I mean, I got the QR codes up here for Sid Jones. I guess I should use a different layout, but I actually released a 3-track single EP, whatever you want to call it. It's featuring Brian D. the Mac from, I believe he's from Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not D. the Mac, I am sorry, but he's from the East Coast of the United States. He's an awesome rapper. You guys really should check him out. I also have another release coming up at the beginning of next year that you guys are going to want to keep up. That is finished as I speak. I'm also on all major outlets. If you Google me, you will see this fucking awesome, handsome smile on Amazon, Google, literally every single fucking outlet. I have the Creature Feature show coming up this Friday at 9. I also am working on two other shows, one with Crazy McCormick and 2 more shows for that Friday. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up. It's going to be fucking awesome. Believe me.
And I've still got my books available over at Amazon. Just type in Sid Jones, Descent is Not Treason. All the other ones pop up, so I don't have to give you a list, but I'm going to just to brag. We've got Descent is Not Treason, Eaten Alive, Grains of Chaos, The Reapers, Nuclear Winter, and Malum Paradisum is up for pre-order for $9.99 exclusively on Kindle. The paperback will be available the same day, December 14th of 2020. It'll be the 2nd book written this year, the 3rd one published. I cannot wait for you guys to check out Malum. It is a fucking breathtaking. And if you like Taya, if you're a fan of Taya 6, you are going to.
Sorry, Taya. Taya, I'm so sorry.
She's going to be flattered. She may or may not be in this book, much like she may or may not have been in Nuclear Winter. I promise it will not disappoint. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can hear the screams from miles apart. My phone will blow up the day that people start reading the book and they finish it. They're like, motherfucker. Oh yeah, it's just gonna be constant phone calls. Listen, I do have patches still available after Ravenfest. So if you guys are interested, please message me. Patches are still available. I want to thank those over at Ravenfest. I want to thank those at Benford Brewing. And that's something I wanted to show you guys real quick here. Bam! You like that? Nice. Yeah, buddy. That is my first time I've ever sewn on a leather patch, and I learned a trick with it. I'm like, how the fuck do you sew this on? Oh, that's clever as fuck. Okay, I see that. All right. Interesting. So Benford Brewing. I've also got an Itla patch that I'll be putting on this vest as well. I love this vest. By the way, this is a White House staff patch. So that is a legitimate White House staff patch. I don't know how the person I got it from obtained it. He doesn't know how he obtained it. He was like, I fucking have one if you want it. And I was like, yeah, I'll fucking buy that off you. For sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this all being said, Twiggy, thank you for being on this network. It means the world to me. Thank you guys for being tuned in here at Twitch. Please make sure you're giving us a follow, a thumbs up, or whatever it is you do over here at Twitch. I'm still learning the ropes. I'm an older guy. I'm an older gentleman. I'm like that guy who's going to be my advisor from World War II, being like, hey! So it's taken me a minute, but I promise we will get there. Please stay tuned here at Twitch. This is where all of the exclusive podcasts will be. We'll still be over at Facebook for a couple of posts here and there, pictures and updates and so on.
Don't worry, the meme lord is still going to post.
Yep, and I'm still going to be posting, ladies, some shirtless pictures are coming up for you real soon. Mwah. So make sure you stay tuned for those over at the Instagram at The Real Sid Jones. Follow me on Twitter at The Real Sid Jones. Make sure you follow me on Facebook at The Real Sid. You guys are catching on. And if you ain't down with any of this, fuck what you think. I hope to see you on the road real soon, just like I did at Raven Fest. Twiggy, sign us out and get us home.
Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. I am on all of that. Just look for Twiggadro, Mr. Twiggles. This is the Sid Jones Network. Ladies and gentlemen, peace the fuck out.